because otherwise it would only be the spirit world that we're listening today. So I want to start by giving credit to my sister, June Saunders. I sent her half of a sermon, and I said, I don't know where to go from here. I'm stuck. And she gave me some just really good suggestions. So for those parts of the sermon which inspire and move you, that's June. The other parts I take responsibility for. And I also want to thank my brother Tyler, Dr. Tyler Hendrics. He asked me to read his memoir that he's working on and that he's editing and hopes to publish soon. The working title for it was Almost Perfect. Almost Perfect. I think that may change, but it's such a refreshing other side of Tyler, because as you know, most of what he writes is it's doctrine, it's theology, it's dry, but this is funny and it's honest and it's very good. It's a good read. And this is one story that I got from Tyler's memoir. So a new security brother is at East Garden. I don't know what the guy's name was, but he's new. And so he's in front of East Garden, and then Father walks out of the house. He's a little nervous. And Father walks up to him and says, "Are you God?" And the brother's flustered. He doesn't know what to say. And Father, a little louder, "Are you God?" And the brother says, "No, you are." Then a second security guy comes up and says, No, he's asking if you're the guard." Thank you, Tyler. But sometimes, recently, when I was working on this, when I was thinking about what I wanted to say to everybody, I realized that sometimes I feel unmoored, like a ship that's floating on an ocean tossed by the seas. For hundreds of years, my ancestors were farmers in South Carolina, which is where I lived until I was around 10 years old. But my parents were military, so we moved. But my grandparents, my great-grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, they're all buried in in the local cemeteries there in the middle of South Carolina, near Greenville. Union County, does that sound right? Union County? Does that sound familiar? No. I've lost touch, right, with the roots, my roots. Why? Because like the pilgrims, I left my hometown to travel to a new land, and I left my home and abandoned my family so that I could receive the blessing from true parents and engraft myself onto God's lineage. Because as Jesus said, "Who are my mother and my brother? Those who are doing the will of my Father in heaven, that is my mother and my sister and my brother." And we all took that to heart, and we started our own families, right? But we were cut off at the root, but we engrafted onto God's lineage. That's our mooring, that's our anchor. Father said the blessing is a movement to save the world through establishing a tradition of God's love. He also said, if you are the sons and daughters of true parents, then your sons and daughters will create families that bear substantial fruit of God's love and lineage. Are we seeing that fruit? What was your answer? You said no? Sometimes. Sometimes. If we compare our families to God's ideal family, have we fallen short? Look around this room at the beautiful, blessed families. I forgot to tell you the title of this message. It's Big, Beautiful, Blessed Families. If you look around at these beautiful, blessed families, imagine for a moment that all of these families are productive, functional, successful, filled with hope. Because if we are not, the future of our movement is bleak. I'm in awe. I'm in awe of your families and mine. Because we struggle to be perfect parents with no connection to the fall. Holding down jobs while pursuing our missions and raising our children. Taking care of your home, your workplace, your church. It requires the stamina and the wisdom and the heart of a saint and a Messiah. Jesus was a bachelor. But you have accomplished everything which God asked you to do while holding on to your spouse. It's hard, but that's what it means to be living in the completed Testament age and beyond. People like you will populate the holy kingdom of heaven on earth, which is being born on an earth while we speak that is convulsed by the labor pains. But here's the thing. True parents always emphasize that it is our unity with them and bringing our children to true parents which ensures our victory. And most of us feel that we have not done enough. Are our children united with true parents? Are we? So we are journeying through this wilderness to get to the promised land, and we might not get there, like Martin Luther King. We might not get there, but we see it. We can see it, and we hope for our children to get there, that land that God promised us. Here in the triangle, we have, how many BCs do we have in the triangle? Anybody want to hazard a guess?
50.
You say 50. There's more than 150. There's more than 150 BCs in our area, some of whom have never been in this building, some of whom don't want us to even know that they're here. So just a fraction of 150 comes to church on Sunday. And Dr. Ashiel asked me, why don't they come to church? And he said, ask them. So I had a conversation with an articulate, thoughtful young person about why she doesn't come to church. And I said, what do you hate about this church? And she said, hate is kind of a strong word. So I asked, what do you dislike about this church? And she said, she came up with 4 things. Four reasons that maybe she's not here on Sunday. And I said, only 4 things? I can do better than that. So we talked about it, and I talked to some other second gen, and ultimately I came up with 9 reasons why our young people don't come to church. You want to hear them?
Yes.
Okay. 1, the church discourages analytical or free thinking. 2, there are lawsuits and court cases suggesting that there might be corruption. 3, leaders spend members' tithes and donations for expensive items, including cars and palaces. 4, there is disrespect for moral people who don't believe in God or religion. 5, during the teenage years, wrong or unhelpful guidance was given about relations with the opposite sex. 6, the church tells people what to do rather than asking, how can the church help you? 7, the church tells members what to believe. 8, the church worships true parents. 9, the church is critical of different or divergent ideas or beliefs. So I came up with this unofficial list of why young people might disassociate themselves from our church. But I felt like it should be a nice round number, like 10. So I asked God, what do you hate about our church? And God said, hate is kind of a strong word. So I asked, what does God dislike about this church? And God said, the church is stuck in the past and unable to change with the times. What does it mean that the church is stuck in the past and unable to change with the times? The example that comes to mind is, I'm not proud of the fact that as long as I've been in this church, I didn't learn Korean. And some of you, you speak Korean, or at least enough to get by, right? But it's a liability. If you go on the night vigil and you don't speak Korean, you sometimes feel kind of out of sync with what's going on. Maybe we could commission a study and ask 150 blessed children, do you speak Korean? Is that an obstacle for not coming to church? And we'd get a percentage, right? How many of our blessed children speak Korean? Is it 50%? Is it 10? What might be some other ways that we could reach out our hands to our young people and grab them if they're falling away? Do you guys have some ideas? What might be something we could do to get our children interested in coming to church on Sunday and being here with us, filling up these empty chairs? Anybody have any ideas? Mark?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is being able to receive what they say. In other words, to listen to them as you have with your 9.5 points. To be able to say, you have identified something. What are you willing to offer worthy of your time?
Say to the children.
Yes.
You've identified something, right?
So what can you
So rather than stepping away from the church, what
can you do to help us overcome this criticism?
Okay. So,
some idea, some exchange, some give and take energy going, even if it's an argument or, first is opening the door.
Right. Okay. Somebody else? Jack? No?
Well, we could partner with more successful organizations and learn from them.
All right. Can everybody hear?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, for example, the Mormons, or is that like what kind of organization?
Or Turning Point.
Or Turning Point. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Anybody else? Mama?
I think we cannot change that.
Okay.
Just even 1-2 person every time. So start from. We cannot change.
If they're not interested in the church,
Just
there's
let the young people do.
Okay.
Cannot change.
Last week we did a Halloween trunk or treat party. It was the first time we've ever done that, and 25 people came. We saw some people that we seldom see. So I think there are things that we can do. Yeah, but to change them it's not easy, of course. Anybody else? Any suggestions?
You had mentioned that they don't believe in God or true parents. I think that's where you got to start. If they don't believe in those two things, how do you expect them to come to church?
Yeah. For most of us, we had an experience with God that completely transformed us overnight. There's no way to produce that, but I think it's in them. I think it is in them, and at some point they go back to that, right? I do believe it's in them, that God is in them, and they'll realize it at some point in their lives. Sooner, hopefully, rather than later. Today, we claim back our children from the enemy. We're not giving up. We never give up on our children. There's always an open door for them to come back. God promised that we'd enter the holy kingdom on earth, not as individuals, but as families. We will not relinquish 1 inch of our God-given birthright to live in a world that's peaceful and free. Let our people go. Let our Holy Mother Han go free. God is slow to anger, but now Satan has gone too far. We are children of true parents, and we will not stand quietly and watch President Lee of South Korea, this criminal, this Judas, send our mother to the cross. Every one of us is ready to go right now to prison with our true mother, aren't we? Are you?
Yes.
Mother could die in prison. We all know that's a reality. And the world must know the truth. You left your home. Some of you left your nation to journey to a new land and a new lineage. That new lineage is the hope of the world through the blessing. But we must pass down a tradition of true love that can embrace the next generation so that this movement can flourish. I pray that together we can reach that land where God's love is abundant. Please join me for a prayer. Most loving Heavenly Parent, at this critical moment in history, and this critical moment in the history of our movement, we pray that you will lift us up, that we can see clearly as you see your plan, your divine providence, which does not stop here. It continues until you have fulfilled what you promised. You promised us that our families would be living in the world of your ideal, the promised land. And we claim that right now today. That we will not let our children go. We will hold them with one hand as we hold you with the other hand. Lift us up now out of this morass. Lift us up that we can stand beside our Holy Mother Han, our true mother, proclaiming that God is on our side. And with you on our side, we can never fail. But you expect us to fight. And that's what we determine to do right now, today. And we pray this as blessed central families attending Holy Mother Han. Jew.